Crystia!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Justin Trudeau has tried many things over time to try and sway the public back to believing that he actually gives a crap about Canada, that he really has our best intentions at heart, and that he's actually going to do something when it comes time to fixing our economy, fixing our country that he's broken, trying to make everyone forget about every one of his scandals and the contracts that he's put out to his friends, etc., etc., etc. Well, now, in a a desperate attempt, when you go past his backpedaling on immigration, which we're going to be talking about later on in the week, now he's virtue signaling to try and throw some crumbs at the peasants to make them believe everything is going to be okay in order to buy votes. Before we get into the story, I just want to remind everybody, if you're enjoying this content, please give it a thumbs up and a comment on the way out. Anytime we talk about Justin Trudeau, we get the videos pushed down out of the algorithm. They don't want us talking about politics, about truth. So make sure if you're enjoying the content, give a thumbs up and a comment on the way out. Hit that subscribe button, all the usual YouTube jazz. Let's get into today's video. Trudeau government now announces that they're going to send $250 checks to most people and slash the GST on some goods. Now, it says here GST HST Holiday will last from December 14th to February. So much like heat pumps last year, this is a temporary measure to try and sway Canadians that, hey, everybody, I got your backs. We love you. We're going to make everything great again. No, you're not. Your country's broken, Justin. Here we go. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Thursday a suite of new measures meant to alleviate some of the affordability pressures people have been experiencing in the post-COOF era, including a 2-month GST holiday on some goods and services. The Liberal government will also send $250 checks to 18.7 million people in Canada who worked in 2023 and earned $150,000 or less. So here's your $250 check. Maybe you can buy a quarter tank of gas with it. Who knows? Those checks, which the government is calling the Working Canadians Rebate, will arrive sometime in early spring 2025. We've been told it's going to be somewhere around April. The GST HST holiday will start on December 14th and run through February 15th, and people will be able to buy the following GST goods free. Or GST free, I should say. Prepared foods, including vegetable trays, pre-made meals and salads and sandwiches, restaurant meals, whether dine-in, takeout, or delivery, snacks, including chips, candy, and granola bars, beer, wine, cider, pre-mixed alcoholic beverages, below 7% alcohol by volume. So again, it's not, hey, we're going to give you a break on everything. It's just, hey, just certain items, certain individual items. Children's clothing and footwear, car seats, diapers, children's toys, such as board games, dolls, video game consoles, books, print newspapers, and puzzles for all ages, and Christmas trees. Look at the Grinch coming out in full force to say, hey, we're going to give a little back. Now, don't get me wrong. 5% savings on day-to-day things does add up. I don't see anything here for gasoline. I don't see anything here for regular groceries, Christmas dinner, pre-made meals, salads, and sandwiches, including vegetable trays and prepared foods. So again, just a few select items, not your regular everyday to-day groceries. Snacks like your chips, candy bars, and granola. Again, Christmas trees. Keep in mind, this goes in effect December 14th. Unless you're buying a real tree, how does this benefit anybody? Most people have their tree before December 14th. With these exemptions, all food in Canada will be essentially tax-free. But again, it doesn't say that up here. It says prepared foods, including vegetable trays, pre-made meals, and salads and sandwiches. So it's going to be questionable at best. Because keep in mind, this is an article from the Clown Broadcasting Corporation. I wanted to highlight this because, again, when they talk about misinformation, disinformation, they're saying one thing up here and then saying down here, with these exemptions, all food in Canada will essentially be tax-free. That's not what they're saying. For 2 months, Canadians are going to get a real break on everything they do, Trudeau said at a media event in Newmarket, Ontario, as long as it's these things. Our government can't set prices at the checkout, but we can put more money in people's pockets. That's going to give people the relief they need. People are squeezed, and we're there to help. So if you spend $100 on groceries, Trudeau's going to give you back $5 whole whopping dollars if you're buying things that are included on this list or alcohol below 7%. Oh, Justin. If a family spends $2,000 on eligible goods in the 2-month period, they can expect to save about $100, according to government figures. Who's got $2,000 to spend these days? In provinces with HST, where GST is harmonized with provincial sales tax, the savings will be larger. The government says provinces with the HST include Ontario, Newfoundland, Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI. In Ontario, for example, the same $2,000 basket of eligible purchases will result in an estimated savings of $260 over the 2-month period. Breadcrumbs. Again, how about you reduce the carbon tax or eliminate the carbon tax on winter heating? We'd see some real savings there, not $200. These savings will come at a big price tag for the federal government. I'm sure it does. The tax holiday will cost federal treasury estimated $1.6 billion in foregone revenue. The $250 checks will cost about $4.68 billion, a finance official told CBC News. Why can't they just stop giving our money to other countries and maybe give us these breaks year round? How about that? How about axing the tax so people can turn on their heat? Because I'm sure they're going to enjoy playing their board games and looking at their Christmas trees after December 14th while they're freezing their butts off in their house. The two affordability measures come as the government grapples with persistent unpopularity in the polls after 2 stinging defeats in recent by-elections. Again, that plainly states that this is all just nothing more than to try and convince Canadians to buy votes for Justin Trudeau. The CBC's poll tracker suggests Trudeau's Liberals are about 17 percentage points back from the first-place Conservatives. That gap narrowed somewhat in recent weeks. No, it hasn't. According to Local 338, there's still about a 20-point lead on the Conservatives. The renewed focus on the cost of living is designed to bolster the government's support among people who have been feeling the pinch after prices on almost everything have increased in recent years due to inflation. Again, I would strongly urge the government to maybe consider taking away the GST on all groceries, and let's see what happens then and what people can really save. Economists agree that the unprecedented government stimulus around the world during the pandemic contributed in part to elevated inflation as consumers flush with cash chased scarce goods. It was more than that. It was printing money that we didn't have, distributing wealth to other countries, giving people who didn't qualify for financial benefits said financial benefits, and Revenue Canada stealing Canadian taxpayer money when they weren't supposed to. There were a number of things that contributed to the issues, but of course they're going to just blame consumers. The Bank of Canada also said that if Ottawa pulled back on COOF-related stimulus earlier, inflation likely would not have been as bad as it would have been. Again, you don't print money you don't have. Trudeau claimed Thursday that these measures are not going to stimulate inflation. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland had a Twitch breakdown, but also downplayed inflation fears, saying the Bank of Canada's aggressive rate hikes have tamed inflation, and Canada is a more solid footing now. We've done the hard work we needed to do to get inflation down. No, you haven't. You haven't even started. You're at the tip of the iceberg. You haven't even begun. Asked about the fiscal implications of the multi-billion-dollar injection, Trudeau said the government has the capacity to implement these measures because Canada has one of the strongest balance sheets in the world. Again, total BS. The federal debt has doubled over the last 9 years to $1.4 trillion. The cost to service that debt is projected to be $54.1 billion in 2024, 2025. Again, I've said a million times over, let's put in some pipelines. Maybe let Alberta continue to contribute to the economy. Maybe then we could balance some of that budget. I'm sure we could get a lot of money if we just opened up our ability to get our products to market. When asked whether it's appropriate to slash the GST on products that could be considered luxury goods, like pricey video game consoles, Trudeau said most of the government's affordability measures to this point have been more targeted, like GST rebates for low-income people and an OAS boost for seniors. He argued it's time to give everyone some relief. There's been no boost for seniors. Seniors, at least the ones in my comment section, are still struggling. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said Trudeau's tax measures are a trick because it's only temporary relief before the government goes ahead with permanent carbon tax hike in the spring. Don't forget, it's going to quadruple in the spring. He said that on Trudeau's watch, housing costs have doubled, food bank use has skyrocketed, and the federal carbon tax is making it more expensive for people to heat their homes. He raised the specter of these latest measures fanning the inflationary flames. God, I am so sorry. My lysdexia is really kicking in bad today. That's the misery you get with massive socialist money printing, and what I'm proposing is a common sense alternative, Poilievre said, while touting his plan to scrap the carbon tax and GST on new home sales. I mean, you buy a new home. Not everybody buys a new home. But if you were to buy a new home, you're going to save basically the down payment when you factor in the average cost of a home versus the $200 Trudeau's going to save you over 3 months. 2 months. Poilievre would not say that the Conservative MPs would vote on the proposal, adding he needs to see the details. But he quotes, "Nobody believes Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh after they've impoverished our people and made life worse off. I don't vote for press releases and press conferences," he said. "Let's see what they put before us." The NDP are supposedly to support affordability measures. Jagmeet Singh said that his party will support it in Parliament. "We want to see this bill passed as quickly as possible," Singh said. "We know middle-class families need a break. We're not going to oppose getting people some help." Again, why don't we talk about carbon taxes? Why don't we talk about real costs that Canadians have to have? Again, Jagmeet Singh is going to pander to Trudeau no matter what he wants, to give him what he wants, because for some reason Jagmeet just can't quit Justin. I don't know what it is, ladies and gentlemen, but he says he tears up agreements, then he doesn't tear up agreements. He says he's going to vote no confidence. He doesn't vote no confidence. Let's see where things go in the future. I think we're FUBAR, but let me know what you guys think about Trudeau throwing us breadcrumbs, thinking that it's supposedly going to buy him some wins in the next election. Do you think it's going to work? That's the question of the day. Make sure to answer that down below. Again, give a thumbs up with your comment on the way out. It does help the channel. If it's your first time here and you enjoyed this video, I hope it's earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that subscribe button, the greatest Christmas gift of all would be to see this channel hit 50,000 by the new year. Let's also click the bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel tomorrow night starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and every Friday for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show, where I sit down with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, and we go over everything that has happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, as well as some back and forth within the community and your Q&A. We always look forward to sitting down with you guys each and every Friday night to hear what you have to say, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you again tomorrow starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, right here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.